Alright, so this is a Drama of Scripture video presentation. So this is the book we've been reading through these 5 weeks, written by Craig Bartholomew and Michael Gothine. Basically, this book is just it's an overview, more specific aspects of sections of the Bible. It's split into 6 acts with creation, the fall of the creation, God choosing his people, Israel, to follow through his plan. Then there's the interlude, and then there's the initial restoration, the redemption process, and then Jesus dying on the cross and conquering death, and then finally when Jesus comes back, that is the final redemption. That's when God officially redeems us, basically. So in this book, it goes through how God created creation perfectly in his eyes, the way that it was designed to be, and we were supposed to have a one-on-one relationship with him. Adam and Eve had a relationship with God. They basically got to walk with God in the Garden of Eden. It was paradise. It was perfect, what it was meant to be. But that all came down, crashing down through sin. Sin came into the world and then cut our relationship off with God. The only way we got to keep the relationship with God is through sacrifices. It's just awful. And God told us he was still going to give us a chance for redemption, and that came through with Christ. And when Christ came on this earth as a perfect being, as an unsinful being, and then he died. It's like the story of Abraham. Abraham was going to go kill his son Isaac. God gave him a ram in place and sacrificed. Abraham got to keep his son Isaac and sacrifice the ram instead. I mentioned this in my paper, but that's what God was with us. We were supposed to be on that cross. The world was supposed to be on that cross. The world had no reason to be offered salvation. We had given God nothing, but he gave his one and only son, who was a perfect sacrifice for us anyway. The book it also talks about how everything in the Old and New Testament is intertwined and is perfectly, it relates to itself. And I love that. I love how it's just not segments that don't mean anything with each other. No, it's intertwined. It's God's promises in the Old Testament being fulfilled in the New Testament through Jesus Christ. And it's not that Jesus Christ added anything or took out anything to make it sound like the Old Testament was fulfilled. But if you look in the Old Testament, all the promises that God told all the prophets and all his descendants, his people, the Israelites, they were being fulfilled. They were being fulfilled through Jesus Christ, and they're still being fulfilled to this day. We just have to wait for Jesus to come back and come make the new Jerusalem here on earth. And it's just breathtaking. What they've done is just, it's great. And every church, most churches, unless you go to a small Bible group or something, they just preach segments. They don't take stuff from Genesis or Judges and relate it to Acts or the Gospels. The Gospels is what Jesus' life is, what mostly is intertwined with the Old Testament. Everything after Jesus' life, from Acts on, is what we're supposed to do as Christians nowadays, how we're supposed to, how the church is supposed to go out and make Christians of all nations and go out and spread the light of God and spread the good news, the new covenant with us. And it was a great time in reading this and learning more and expanding my knowledge and faith. So, thank you very much.